Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today's hearing is the subcommittee's first opportunity to focus on liquefied natural gas, or LNG, exports. I think it's an important topic, and I'm glad we're having this hearing. There's no question that a significant energy transition is underway here in the United States. State and federal renewable energy policies are paying off. We've doubled our capacity to generate renewable electricity from wind and solar just in 4 years. Cheap natural gas is also helping to transform our electricity sector. This market reality is driving a shift away from the use of polluting coal to generate electricity. These changes are positive developments, and we'll hear a lot about the geopolitical implications of America's energy abundance. We will also talk about the impacts on America's economy, American jobs, and America's balance of trade. But I want to address a different issue, the relationship between U.S. energy markets and climate change. Climate change is the biggest energy challenge we face as a country. We can't have a conversation about the global consequences of America's energy policy without also having a conversation about climate change. In November, the International Energy Agency concluded that if the world does not take action to reduce carbon pollution before 2017, then it will be impossible to prevent the worst effects of climate change because of the carbon dioxide emissions that would be locked in by energy infrastructure existing at that time. That means that the energy policy decisions that we make today will have a real and direct impact on whether we can prevent the worst impacts of global climate change in the future. It is through this lens that we need to examine whether we should export LNG to other countries. LNG export terminals are huge multi-billion-dollar infrastructure investments that will last for decades. We should understand the climate impacts before these facilities are built, not after. I have an open mind about LNG exports. There is a case to be made that exports of LNG may allow other nations to move from coal to natural gas. That could lead to reduced carbon emissions. In addition, a number of studies predicted LNG exports would have generally positive economic effects. There's also a case to be made that free trade in natural gas may help our allies in Europe and Asia who are currently dependent on higher-priced natural gas imports from Russia and the Middle East. But we also need to consider the impact LNG exports could have on domestic greenhouse gas emissions. Liquefying and transporting natural gas is an energy-intensive process that would generate significant carbon pollution. LNG exports would increase the domestic price of natural gas, which could increase U.S. carbon emissions as a result of a shift back to coal for electricity generation. And methane itself is a potent greenhouse gas. It is 25 times more potent than carbon dioxide in warming the planet. Exports would stimulate more domestic natural gas production, which can emit substantial amounts of methane if not controlled. As the Department of Energy considers the pending application to export LNG, I hope they will develop concrete answers so that we can understand the climate impacts of moving in this direction. I thank the witnesses for being here, and I look forward to their testimony.